Hello, hello, I'm Amy. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making indoor s'more cookies. These are amazing and it's really easy. It's really just making homemade graham crackers. So come on over and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm starting with some butter. And this is one of those cookie recipes where you really do need a stand mixer or a handheld mixer if you have one. I'm going to start by creaming my butter and my brown sugar. And here's a little tip about brown sugar. You really always want to have it covered because the air will dry it out. So I measured this out about an hour ago and I covered it up right away. And then I'm going to put in some honey. And I'm going to blend this until it's combined. And that should take about 30 seconds. You know, the thing that's kind of cool about making homemade graham crackers, first of all, they're really easy to make, but it's really just a shortbread cookie. It doesn't have any eggs or any leavening agent, which is what makes it a shortbread. And it just makes it like thick and kind of crispy and crunchy, just the way you want a graham cracker to be. So what makes it more of a graham cracker than a shortbread is the honey and the whole wheat flour. And then I like to put in a little cinnamon, but that's sort of optional. You can do that if you want. And by the way, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Ask away while the mixer's on. Okay, so this is all mixed. Want to come in close here? You can see that everything's combined and it happened really fast. So I'm going to turn off the mixer and add my dry ingredients. First, I'm going to scrape this off. Because the one thing you want is for everything to mix together. It really stinks if you don't sort of scrape down your bowl and your ingredients, because then you get uneven cookies. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my dry ingredients, and I have some all-purpose flour. And I'm gonna publish this recipe, so I'll have all of the measurements. This is whole wheat flour. This is a really important part of the recipe. It gives the graham cracker that graham cracker taste. And then I'm going to put in a little cinnamon, and I'm just going to measure this out because it's going to get too cinnamony if I put it all in. So I'm putting in a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to put in a half a teaspoon of salt, but I don't want the cinnamon to get in the salt, so I'm going to do 2/4 teaspoons. And I'm going to blend this just to combine. You can see it's like, it starts off kind of sandy looking and then it gets really crumbly and it's almost ready. I'm gonna blend it a little bit more. All right, so I think we're good. So I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna put it on my work surface. I'm just gonna dump it out. Got my silicone spatula, my pink one, the little one. It doesn't stick to anything. It's really great. So here is my dough, and all I'm gonna do is kind of push it together so that I can form a disc, and I'm gonna wrap it in plastic and I'm gonna stick it in the refrigerator for about an hour. It just needs to sort of get all of the ingredients to sort of meld together, and then it'll make it a little bit easier for rolling. And I will show you exactly what I mean. So here's the dough before the fridge, and here is the dough after the fridge. So I actually made this yesterday, and you can see it really looks more like dough. It's a lot more pliable than this. So here's a trick when rolling out dough. I learned this from Dory Greenspan. You always want to not add more flour. You know that saying, when you're rolling out dough, you always want to do it on a lightly floured surface? Well, that sort of wrecks the dough. It kind of adds unnecessary extra flour. So what I do is put 2 pieces of plastic wrap on either side, and that keeps the dough from sticking to anything, which is really what the flour is used for. And it's really easy, and it's like no cleanup. Easy cleanup. All I have to do is either reuse my plastic wrap, which I definitely do, or throw it away. And that's what Dory Greenspan taught me. Okay, so I've rolled my dough out to about 1/8 of an inch thick, and that's exactly where I want it. I'm gonna take off the top layer, and here comes the fun part. I'm gonna cut it into squares. I'm gonna even out these edges just a little bit. And here's another really good tip. You could use a sharp knife to do this, but a pizza wheel is so easy. I love using a pizza wheel for this. So if you have a pizza wheel, use your pizza wheel to cut this. Okay, so I am putting that to the side, and I'll re-roll that. But what I want to do is cut 2 by 2 inch squares. So I have my ruler, and I'm just going to measure this and get this out of the way. So this is 2 inches. I'm going to go down. Here's another 2 inches. So I can get 3 rows of cookies. Let me measure this way. So this is 2 inches, and this is 2 inches, and then this is 2 inches. So I am going to take this away, and all of this dough here I will re-roll. And I'm going to put my graham cracker cookies on my prepared baking sheet. Now I love to use Silpat sheets. That's what this is. It's like super, super non-stick for baking. It is great. And you can find these anywhere. If you don't have a Silpat baking sheet, then you can use parchment paper. And you can buy parchment paper anywhere. So here are my graham crackers. I'm just gonna prick them. And this is for 2 reasons. 1, it looks like a graham cracker. And 2, it helps the steam escape as they bake, and that will make them super crispy. So these are ready to go into the oven, and and my oven is preheating at 350 degrees. So I'm gonna move all this out of the way, and we're gonna move on with our recipe because I made a couple of in advance. And here's where the fun part comes. So here are the cookies that I made yesterday, and I am going to assemble the s'mores. Why don't we do 9? So the first thing you want to do is add your chocolate, not the marshmallow. I love using Hershey bars. It's like it cuts, you can break them apart into like a perfect size, like you can see, but you can really use any chocolate that you'd like. I think milk chocolate is perfect for s'mores. And then we're gonna add these jumbo marshmallows on top. I'm amazed, I can find jumbo marshmallows everywhere now. They used to be really hard to find, but they're not anymore. And I just think they're perfect on top. You cut them in half with scissors, and it's really easy. And I put the cut side down, just like that. You can, of course, use regular marshmallows. You could even use mini marshmallows, but this is just my personal favorite. So what I'm gonna do is stick these under the broiler, and we're gonna keep an eye on the broiler together, because broiling marshmallows is not something you wanna walk away from. They burn in 2 seconds flat. So come on over here, let's stick this in the broiler, in the oven. So I have the broiler preheated, and I am going to just watch. It's really cool to see because the chocolate melts and it gets really kind of gooey, and then the marshmallows are going to start to get really toasty, and then it's done, and we will have indoor s'mores before we know it. And you know what? We're all indoors right now, so this is a really good time to make something like this. But even when life gets back to normal and we can go outside and toast marshmallows, I think this is like a really great great thing to have. So I'm just gonna close this and turn the light on for 2 seconds. I can still see it. What do you think, Will? Can you see it?
I don't think we planned for this part.
No, I don't think we did either, but I'm telling you, it's gonna turn in 2 seconds and we wanna keep it going. So, does anyone said hi for our video?
Peter waved.
Hi, Peter. Peter, I hope you're
Maddie,
gonna make this.
Maddie Muchler.
Hey, Maddie. I wish you were all here watching the marshmallows toast with me.
Gabriella Quill.
Gabriella, how's the bread baking going?
She said worth the wait.
Worth the wait. Hey, I'm telling you, when you're making this at home and you don't feel like keeping an eye on your marshmallows, just remember this because you'll be really glad you did, because I am doing that. And I can see these are turning right now. Look at that.
There we go.
There we go. So I am ready to pull these out. This is what you're looking for. You can turn that off. And these are indoor s'mores. So I hope you'll all make these. If you have any questions, you can always DM me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you soon. Bye.